the point that I'm making is that you're saying you're not going to pull your support for Trump, and that oh, you don't want the Democrats to take over. What has
Yeah,
Trump
that's
done for
right.
you though in the
That's
last 10
right.
years? What have you gotten out of Trump? I mean, you got a war with Iran. You got no
net zero
mass
I got
deportations.
net zero migration. Supreme Court wins. The list goes
What
on
mass
and on and on.
What the Supreme Court wins? The kids are still for themselves.
How about the redistricting that we just saw today? Did you not see that, or
what does that do for the average American? I don't know about all of this.
What it does, well, I
ahead.
know you probably don't know, but what that actually does is it stops Democrats from creating strongholds with minorities by giving them incentives to go into Democrat cities by giving them taxpayer money. That's what that does. It's a huge victory for us. It's not just that, though. Also, as his Supreme Court justices rolled back Roe v. Wade, got it back to the states, which we've been demanding for 50 years. It's not only those things either. He also did Chevron, which was a Supreme Court landmark win, which was giving corporations the power themselves.
I'm talking about in this term.
Settle lawsuits. I'm talking about this term too.
Roe versus Wade wasn't this term.
Yeah, so, I'm talking about Chevron was, and this redistricting was, and that's not the only court case that he's won.
Term. Because his first term, I did like his first term, and that's why I voted for him in 2020.
Roe v. Wade wasn't his first term. That's the only one, though, out of the ones I just mentioned. And by the way, the net negative migration is a thing which you would have been begging for 4 years ago.
But what about the 10 million people?
Nobody even thought it would be possible, and yet here it is. We have net negative migration for the first time in my lifetime.
No, yeah, we still have legal immigration coming through. The 10 million who are here.
Did you not just hear what I said? Do you know what net negative migration means? Can you tell me what it means?
Know what it means.
Tell me what it means. Then tell me what it means.
It means pretty much almost zero migration.
No, that's not what it means. It means there's more people leaving than coming. That's what it means.
That is absolutely not true. Even better. That's not. How do you? Whoa. So how do you figure that there's more people leaving than coming? You're not even getting numbers from ICE.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
Well, luckily, we have one of the great libertarian institutions who loves migration called the Cato Institute, who just came out with all the numbers. Cato Institute says that due to Trump, there's 50% less H-1B visas which have been issued, and we're now at net negative migration. In fact, he's actually cut down the number of legal immigrants coming in even more than illegal immigrants coming in, which was already a huge landmark with the amount of illegal immigrants not coming in. He's also done that with legal migration. So we're at a net zero. So we actually have more leaving than coming, both illegal and legal.
Again, the more leaving, I don't care who did, the libertarian, whatever, who did whatever. If they don't have the real numbers coming from ICE, because they don't report the numbers, they can't.
Why don't you show me your evidence? I'll give you the Cato Institute evidence, which I literally have it right here, and I'll post that. Do you have anything for me? Anything?
Well, I'd have to go back and look at ICE again to show you that. No, yeah, because I didn't pull all that stuff up right now. But
okay, whatever. I just told you
what
Trump has done for me. So anyway,
okay. So, but
I don't want Democrats to win. That's why.
Okay, but you still have. There's no deportations. I don't know where people are coming up with this. That more people are leaving. There's no deportations. I stopped reporting numbers last year. They don't report numbers anymore. That's number one. Number two, Trump said he wasn't even going to go to the job sites. Look at this. First of all, what happened with ICE, this blunder of a so-called deportation process that you don't hear anything about. He's capitulated to the Democrats. He says he's not doing it anymore. He said he wasn't going to the job sites. Of course he wasn't. If he would have went to the nursing homes, a lot of these Haitians would be gone right now. They're still here. Now they get to stay in TPS. I am Haitian American, and I'm telling you the truth about that, right? And so American jobs are still being given to illegal people who are here, who are not being deported, nor are they self-deporting, because people don't want to self-deport. Where are they going to go? They're going to leave America with all of the all of this stuff that we're doing for them. So no, there's no.
I don't care about your chatter. I want the evidence to give it to me.
I'm giving you the evidence. Trump said he wasn't going to go to the job.
You opening your mouth and making mouth sounds isn't evidence. I want the evidence.
That's a cop out. Andrew,
how is that? It's a cop out that you're not giving me any evidence.
And oh my God, we both know he said he's not doing.
We both don't know. Give me your evidence.
I'm not going to look for evidence because I'm talking to you.
Okay, so everything you just said, I'm going to dismiss as being evidence free. So anyway, I gave you the reasons that I support Trump. If you can go ahead and tell me though why it is that I need to get Democrats in office, because that's going to be good for me. I can't wait to hear it.
I never said that was my position. So now you're
Okay,
assuming
great.
once again,
So
'cause I'm
then,
not a Democrat, so I don't know.
so then here's what we've established. You don't want Democrats in office, and neither do I. I gave you good reasons for supporting Trump. You have no good evidence for why I shouldn't. And then on top of all of that, we've also established that I don't support the war in Iran.
At the end
What
of the
is it?
day, you will blindly support everything that Trump does. You're telling me about these type of wins that we're not having in this current term. You
Okay, which
still
one?
have your legal.
Which one? Hang on, which ones? Every
You
one I
still
gave
have
you,
your
with the
you
exception of Roe v. Wade, was this term.
you still have your illegal immigrants here. They're not going anywhere. There's no deportations. Legal immigrants are still coming in here. I don't care if they're coming in a little
Yeah,
less.
so let's
I
like,
see,
do you want
hold
to get
on,
into
let me
that?
finish. As a
Okay.
nurse, I see they are, getting people from India to come take nursing jobs. And that's why the jobs for nurses in America, the salary has gone down. It's
Yeah, I
declined because
agree.
they can
Yeah.
import people. Can I finish? So
Yeah,
this
but
is
I
all
mean, you're
happening
just making arguments that I already agree with you. I don't even know what you're arguing here.
So, but the point is again, but this whole blind, let's go vote GOP for what? Why?
Oh, well,
Why?
here,
You're in a
let
war
me
with
help you out.
Iran.
Not only did I
What
give
did you
you
get?
Okay,
What did
so
you get?
then if I don't go vote for the GOP, do the Democrats win?
I didn't vote for Trump, and he still won. And we still in a war
Yeah,
with Iran. We got no mass
okay,
deportation.
great. I know, but if people in mass don't go and vote for the GOP, do the Democrats win?
You're not getting anything with even if the
I
Democrats
don't know why
win,
you
what's
won't
the difference?
answer. I'm not asking for you to
Yeah, okay, fine.
answer
They
with a
win, Andrew.
question. Yes, they win. Okay, great. So then, do you know what the Democrat plan is for when they have control that James Carville recently came out with? I'm going to read it for you.
Yeah, I saw his thing about opening up the border and bringing
Oh,
more
no, no,
people
no.
in.
It's worse than you think. Let me give you the actual plan so that you really understand what it is that they want to do. We'll go over the entirety of it here. And Carville's pretty upfront with it. 1 second here. I'll pull up his plan. Expand the Supreme Court from 9 to 13 justices. So what that would do is that would get rid of the Roe v. Wade decision. Not only would that get rid of the Roe v. Wade decision, that would also just get rid of that redistricting win that we just had, right? Literally just had that. And they would also repeal the Chevron decision, which was a major one as well. That's just a few of the things that they would do in the court system. They want to add 2 new states, Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico, because then they want to make sure that they have a state majority based on the welfare system. They want unilateral action. Carville advised on his podcast that everything needs to be unilateral from Democrats only, no GOP allowed to say anything. So as you go through his plan, he outlines how it is that he wants expanded rights. He wants expanded rights for kids. He wants expanded rights for co-ed sports. He wants expanded rights for taxation as well. He's going to up taxes. That includes rolling back those corporate tax cuts that Trump gave us, which were fantastic and still are. That's just a few of the plans the Democrats have when they're in power. And yes, it's very important to me that they never receive power because that's a way worse world than the one that I live in right now with Trump and the GOP. Now, I'm not getting everything that I want out of the GOP, but politics is about compromise. I'm against the war in Iran, but I'm not going to pull my support from Trump unless he does a ground invasion in the style of Bush and continues Bush doctrine. Limited actions, I'm not going to pull my support for Trump or the GOP, because I know how bad the world is under Democrats. Maybe you forgot, but it's real bad. And by the way, this thing that's going on right now on X, the way that we're able to have these conversations and things like this, kiss that goodbye under Democrats. I saw what they did before with Facebook when Biden was in and he was putting pressure on these media organizations to make sure that people like us couldn't even have spaces like this and talk, and putting in all sorts of sanctions. They were arresting people on the down low for doing that. Yeah, life under the Democrats suck. We get a lot more out of the GOP. I'm sorry, but we do.
Okay. So for me, I look at this America today and it's the same thing. What's the difference? Let me finish. The kids, they can still themselves. Trump said as long as they have their parents' permission. That's great. This is literally the same thing that we're dealing with now. Okay. As far as the freedom of speech or having these spaces, well, I know a person like myself who calls out the lobby a lot. They're trying to censor people who talk about these kind of things. Trump went after the universities and took away their freedom of speech to be able to protest because lobby wanted that. Okay, so that's why you don't see them out there protesting for the war in Iran and everything. And you don't have to agree with what they're saying, but he stopped that. He went on this university, um, you know, uh, uh, going after universities. Okay, crusade, right? Because the lobby wanted this. And to stop these protests because it was anti-Semitic to have these protests, right? Pretty soon a Bible study would be
Well,
anti-Semitic.
can we just do one point at a time, please?
All right, but please let me because I stopped just to let you
I
because
don't want to
this
do a
really
Gish
means
Gallop. I want to do one point at a time. Can we start with
okay.
the
Finish with
kids?
then let me make this finish making this point since I was
Fine.
just about to be done.
Yeah,
So
fine.
this is a Republican president who stood on a stage with flags behind him saying that he was coming after our freedom and our First Amendment rights, and he's actually done it. It's funny that they could do that for this an anti-Semitism, but when people are, these Marxists were saying that white people are inherently evil and all of that. None of that was a problem. Nobody ever had a problem with it. Nothing was ever done about
Yeah,
it.
can we go one
So,
at a time here? I'll address
all
each
right,
one of
go
these
ahead.
points, I promise you, but let's go one at a time. Let's start with the kids. No, you can't your kids with parents' permission. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about or where you came up with that. The Trump administration took significant steps to severely restrict or effectively ban gender affirming surgery and other medical care of individuals under 19 nationwide, which means you got to actually be over 19 to even get surgery or any of the hormone blockers. You just made that up. And you can find this signed under Executive Order 14187 titled Protecting Children from Chemical and Surgical. You want to tell me another lie? You want to tell me another
No, I'm
propaganda
not going to
lie?
tell you another lie because I'm a nurse and I can tell you right now that you can have a
Are you the
difficult.
kids as a nurse?
Uh, no, don't play with me
No,
like that. I'm a
exactly.
Christian. I don't mess around with that kind of
Exactly.
stuff. But
Yeah.
can I finish my point?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
restricting access to gender affirming care, you still can have certain diagnoses. They have not taken care of every loophole. You can still have certain diagnoses. You come in
Oh,
with your
I
parent, you
see.
tell
So
them.
it's not
That,
perfect. So we should give
okay.
it to the liberals so that they can actually the kids
I'm saying that
because under
it's
freedom,
not different.
under speech laws, and parenting rights laws, parents can put their kids in dresses. Unfortunately, I wish that that wasn't the case, but that's out of the president's hands. There's not anything Trump can do about that. And the GOP, it would be a serious legal landmark to tell parents that women couldn't wear boys' clothes anymore or put on makeup as a boy. It would I don't know what you would have to do to get that done, but it would be pretty incredible. What they did do though was they completely eliminated bottom surgery and hormone replacement therapy for anybody under 19 years old. That's what the kids was. And they eliminated it. And I just gave you the executive order. I'm going to pull it up and read it to you because I'm so sick of hearing this recycled lie from you people. And you, by the
Don't
way,
call me a liar because I
I want to
represent
tell
my
you that
position.
I
Don't
can
ever
tell you
call me a
exactly
liar.
who that came from. That came from Taoist Muslims. And I know for sure that it came from
No, that came
Taoist
from
Muslims
me being a
because
nurse
I was
and
hanging out in one of
understanding
their
medical.
discords when they were talking about it. But here, I'll give you the executive order right now. It's Executive Order 14187, and I'm going to read you the language of this executive order. Protecting children from chemical and surgical Executive Office of the President. This was signed in 2025. By the authority vested in me by President, by the Constitution and laws of the United States of America, it's hereby ordered policy purpose across the country today. Medical professionals are maiming and sterilizing a growing number of impressionable children. Okay. It goes on to say countless children will regret this. Goes on to say, according to this policy in the United States, that it will not fund, sponsor, promote, or support the so-called transition of child from one sex to another, and it will rigorously enforce all laws to prohibit and limit the destruction of these life-altering procedures. He defunded chemical and surgical given to any organization from the federal government over, period. Now, that's well within the purview of the United States government to do, and he did it. You're asking him to do things he can't even do. He can't tell private organizations and parents what they can do with their healthcare decisions outside of an act of joint Congress and the judiciary. What do you want this guy to do?
Then don't use
What can he even
absolute
do?
terms. Don't use absolute terms. It's not me asking because I don't expect
What
to
do
get
you mean
anything out of these
absolute
people.
terms?
Don't tell me
What?
that he got rid of bottom surgery and he did this to get
He
rid of
did.
bottom surgery and
He
all
got
of
rid of
that.
all the federal funding for
He
all
didn't.
of that.
He got rid
Everything
of
within
federal.
his
Then say that
purview
he
to
got rid of
do.
federal
He
funding for it.
Okay, listen.
Okay, but do
You and I
not make it
oh my
seem.
god, this is ridiculous. Let me ask you a question. We'll just make this concise. You do only expect President Trump to do the things that he's actually allowed to do, right? You don't expect him to be able to do things past his power of office, do you?
I don't expect him to do much, to be honest,
Oh my
considering
god.
how this government
I don't know
works.
why you won't
So I'm
answer
not
the
the one
questions.
who.
Answer the question I just asked you.
I just
You don't actually expect President Trump to do things outside of the scope of his office, right? Like you only have the expectation that he's going to be able to do things that he's allowed to do, right?
So why can't he write an executive order
Oh
to
my
make it
God,
like a
this
fine?
woman. Look, if you're not going to answer questions, then I'm just going to leave this space. Okay. I'll
Why are you
answer
leaving the
yours with
space?
a
You do
yes
the
or
same
no.
thing
I'll
on
tell you what,
debates.
we're gonna run an experiment. I
I
want you
watch
to just
plenty of your
ask me
debates.
questions.
You do the same thing.
I want you to ask me 5 questions in a row that are not loaded questions. They're just basic questions like I'm asking you, and I'm just going to answer yes or no. Go ahead. I'm going to show
I
you
don't
how
do
this is
yes or
done.
no. I don't do yes or no. I don't believe in this kind of communication. You're asking me to
So you'll
blankly
never
say yes.
affirm a position. You'll never tell me that
It's
if
not
you
that.
expect Trump to actually just only be able to do what's within his power to do, you won't say yes or
Yes,
no.
yes, but his power can extend. Come on, he has a lot of power with his executive orders. If he really wanted to use his power the way he could,
He
why doesn't
just
he make
did.
it a felony crime? That's all
He
I'm saying. Like,
he
why
fucking
can't he
did
just
because that's outside the purview of his
not with an
authority as
executive
the
order?
president. What are you talking about?
Not with an
He can't
executive.
he can't tell a you can't go to a private organization and be like, "Hey, man, if parents come in and say, 'I want my 12-year-old Johnny to be on hormone replacement medication,'" Trump can't do nothing about that. What Trump can do is he can stop all federal funding from going to anything like that. He can affirm through the federal government that we only consider there to be two genders, male and female. He did that too. I can give you the executive order, but he can't go to a private organization and parents who have authority over their children and tell them they can't do that. That would take an act of Congress and the Supreme Court to hold it up. Do you understand that? Most wallets still plug into the same system we were trying to escape in the first place. And that's why Rumble built Rumble Wallet. It's a self custodial wallet that lives inside an ecosystem that actually defends free speech and financial freedom. No bank holding your balance, not even Rumble can touch your funds. This is your money on your keys, on your terms. So if you're serious about sovereignty, financial and digital, this is where you level up. Go to wallet.rumble.com or search Rumble Wallet in your app store, download it, back up your recovery phrase, and move your money where it belongs, in your hands.
But again,
But
if he really
I
wanted to
want I
go,
want an answer first and then the response. Do you
I'm really like
understand
the way
that?
he's talking to me.
Do
Of course,
you
I understand that.
understand that? Okay,
I
great.
understand it.
Thank you. All right. Go ahead.
But again, with all this power, he could have made it a felony. He can make it a crime because
Oh my
you
God,
can't
you
bring
can't make
people
it.
into hospitals. Hold on, especially under Medicare, you could make it a straight up crime. We can't bring people into hospitals and euthanize them, right? We're not allowed to do that, right? So why you could make it a crime to take your kid into the hospital to have them by cutting off, I don't care what age they are, but like by cutting off a part of their body. That is a crime. So the executive order could have been written a lot better, but
Okay,
whatever. But
okay, hang
this
on, hang on.
absolute,
I just want an answer to this question. Do you think that the president of the United States can make a thing a crime via an executive order?
I already know that the judges will try to stop him, but at least
No, that's
try.
not my question. I'm going to ask it again. Do you think that the president of the United States can make something a crime via executive order?
I do,
Okay.
because there's,
Okay.
I
Mhm.
do.
So now let me give you the
Maybe they
answer.
haven't. I don't have the precedent for it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so
he
here well,
won that
I
Supreme
do
Court.
though. I do actually have
Where
the information because these are things information and you seem to be allergic to each other. There's something called limits on power. Executive orders can't override existing federal laws or the Constitution. And since we have an existing federal law, you can't use an executive order to criminalize anything. You have no idea what you're talking about. Zero. President can't use new crimes or establish criminal penalties solely through an executive order. It's unconstitutional. Only Congress has the power to pass legislation defining criminal offenses. Do you understand that?
Yeah, but the point
Yeah,
that I'm
but
making is,
nothing. Yeah, like everything you're
well,
saying,
yeah,
you don't know
and
what you're talking
no,
about.
you don't calm down. You don't have to say it's FM. Just
Understand, like,
let me
you just told me that the
explain
president
that
needs to unilaterally make this a crime. I asked you via executive order, is he allowed to do that? You said yes. It's completely unconstitutional and outside the purview of his authority. He's not allowed
right,
to even
it could
do it.
be unconstitutional all at once, but after Trump won that Supreme Court case stating that anything he does under his presidency, and this is now precedent for any president, that anything they do under their
Wife,
presidency.
can you bring me a drink? Is this being recorded,
Oh,
by the
why am
way?
I being cut
Josiah,
off? Right? Yeah, because I
are
was
you
about to make the
recording this?
point.
Yes, sir. This
So
is being
Okay, thank
recorded.
you. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
so anything
Go
that
ahead.
is done during his presidency is an act of the president. So therefore, he can actually. It's actually a scary ruling because he can just go full authoritarian and do whatever, and he can't really get in trouble for it. So why not try to use that power for good? Why not at least
What
try?
are you what are you referencing? What are you referencing?
Hold on. My mic is, I don't know. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. What are you referencing?
I'm talking about the Supreme Court case that he won back in 2024. This when Biden was still president. And they said, remember, because all of the documents.
What was the case? What was the case?
It was about the documents that he had all the documents. Remember, they were trying to put him in jail for having documents. I don't have case numbers in front of me.
You don't have the case.
Andrew, don't act. So it didn't happen. Like,
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I can't respond to claims that you make that have no evidence for them, or you can't reference or cite so that I can check and see what you're even referencing to see if it's accurate. Now, I have good reason to believe that it's not accurate. And my reason to believe that is because nothing else you've said tonight has been accurate. So I have good reason to believe that this is not accurate. Now, if it is accurate, all you got to do is give me the Supreme Court case and we'll find out if this is actually the case or not. Go ahead.
in 2024, he won the immunity case that protected him from prosecution for many presidential actions. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is a precedent that's set. Anything that a president does during their presidency is now like they can't be prosecuted for it or put in jail or
That's not
anything
correct.
like that. Oh my God, it is correct because I
It's
was
not
on
correct.
Mario's face debating this with people, and this is when Democrats was getting scared, like, oh, he could just start a civil war in America, which is kind of true, but like it is correct because even like MAGA supporters, and at the time I was a supporter of Trump, but I was nervous about him winning this case because it set a precedent for the next 10 years for some other creep to come in and start doing tyrannical things and nothing could be done to them. Okay, so it is the point that it gives you presidential immunity. So therefore, if this power is here, why not try to see how far you can wield it? Because you certainly wield the power to do other things, right? So why not try to wield it to get what you can get out of it? And that's my point. Like, look, I'm not
Now,
here.
why isn't Trump more of a tyrant? That's what you're asking me.
Well, he
No,
kind
hang on. But that aside, hang on, I'll
ignorant.
answer it. I'll answer to it. So you're wrong. Again, in Trump versus the United States, okay, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that presidents have absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for actions within their core constitutional authority and presumptive immunity for all official acts. Presumptive for official acts. I just got done telling you what his authority is under the Constitution for executive orders and that he can't make law. Since he can't make new laws, and that's the domain of Congress, that would fall outside of this court ruling because it has to be within their core constitutional authority. That would be immediately outside of their constitutional authority. So you don't know what you're like. Again,
Don't say
I'm
I
sorry to
don't
be the
know.
bearer of bad news here, but you got this one wrong.
No, I didn't. You're saying
Okay, you
presumptive.
didn't.
It's still immunity. It is immunity. They have
For
immunity.
what? Immunity
But the
from
point. Hold on. Here's the thing.
immunity from what? Immunity from what?
That any action that they take.
Nope.
as a president
Nope.
can be looked at. And to be honest, you can even go into like the executive unitarian something or another, some theory that they can take any action. They can call anything a crisis and say during crisis time, this is what I have to do. So they can fudge numbers and say that there are so
No,
many
this
kids
would
being
apply to
destroyed.
things listen, this would apply to things like military actions, pardoning powers, things like
They're
that. Hang on,
trying
stop,
to do
stop,
this.
stop. The absolute immunity would only go to the core constitutional powers. Core. That would be the conclusive constitutional powers. That would be he's the commander in chief. He can do pardons, things like this. He can nobody would I don't think I mean he would always have immunity for executive orders. That's true, but he can only write executive orders that don't create new law. So there's no immunity there. He actually just doesn't have the core authority to do that. So when you say he needs to utilize an executive order to make a thing a crime, that's not even within his purview to do. Do you understand?
He could try. And again,
He can
the
try
way that
to
law
reach
is
the
interpreted,
very limits of his power.
you know what I hate about this though? That this really is not even my argument, right? My point really was
But it was your
that,
argument.
hold on. My point really was that nothing has changed. The kids can still themselves if they
Oh,
want to.
changed. You're
So to
wrong.
say, right. The kids now, what I will say is the culture's changing. So
No,
maybe
he pulled
that's why it's
federal
going.
funding from tons of organizations,
And the
including
kids
the
can still,
military.
okay, fine. The
Including the
kids can,
military, and he did it for under 19, so it's even over 18. He pulled all federal funding for this fucking madness, and you're just like, "Well, it's not good enough." I was like, "What world do I live in where it's like it just no matter what this guy does, it's just never fucking good enough." He's like,
no,
"Oh,
no, don't,
oh,
don't.
they can still they can still kids though," and it's like he did everything within the office of the power of presidency to stop that within the purview of his
Right.
authority. It's like, what do you want him to do?
Then say that then instead of saying, oh, well, he
I
stopped
did
the
say
trans and
that
the kids.
50 times I've said
No,
this.
no, you guys speak in absolution about Trump, and it's okay. Look, I get it because I
How
used to be a
many
supporter
times
too.
did I
Now,
clarify this position? Like, I
mm,
could have made it more clear.
right. Nothing has changed since.
Yes,
Nothing's
it has.
changed, yo.
Yes,
We
it
don't have,
has.
look, nothing, deportations, they're not happening. The
Into
illegal
the
immigrants are here. I'm tired of seeing them. They're still here.
okay,
Okay. You
yeah.
got a war with Iran,
And
right? You're going to get a
Under
ballroom,
Democrats, that's gonna stop, right? Even though James Carville says
but it
his
didn't even
goal is to bring
start.
in 5 times the amount of immigrants. That's his goal.
Right. And then the next time we get a Republican, they're not going to get rid of them. It's the same thing. And then they allow illegal immigration. Don't you see?
Same thing,
It
yeah.
is, look, I used to hate thinking that, but it's the same thing. It's
Except
just
it's not.
written differently.
It's
This
not.
is,
We would never have had net zero immigration under Democrats in a
we
million fucking years.
like, we don't have it now because
We
I'm
do
still
have it
looking for
now.
ICE and their updated report of how many people have been
Yes.
deported.
Well,
Now, you want to know who is
how
getting
many
deported?
hang on, how many years did you think it was gonna take for this guy to deport 25 million people, lady? How many years?
Exactly, you're right. And he didn't even put a little dent in it. You're right, it's a
You know what
lot.
happened?
And so
You wanna
he's not
talk
even nowhere near.
I'm gonna
And
tell
then
you
he stopped.
exactly what happened. So, Donald Trump was moving towards migration in the biggest way possible, and what happened is he had 3 times the amount of injunctions against him for utilizing the executive office for migration. He was working with the locals in Texas. This is under Abbott. He was working with Abbott as well. He was working with many governors all over between Florida, between Texas, between even
Andrew, we
hang
might have
on.
lost you.
What? So what actually happened here is that he's had 3 times the injunctions against him for trying to do migration, deportations from guess who? Democrats, okay? And what they were doing is they were using federal judges in California to stop action in places like Texas and Florida. And guess who stopped that? Trump's Supreme Court, another landmark ruling. And what they did is they said that Supreme Court justices in California can't tell Texas what to do anymore. And so that's finally back on the menu. And you're going to hamstring this guy now when we have net zero migration? That's insanity. I brought this up to Owen Schroyer. He knew it. And he was like, yeah, I agree. Like now maybe they can actually get something done. It's like, I don't know what you people want. Like, what do you keep saying to me? Oh, it's the same exact thing, but it's not the same thing. It's not even close to the same thing.
It's the same thing
How?
because
How can it be? Like, you've given me no
so
evidence for that. Every time we go through anything, you're just completely blatantly wrong about it. You've been wrong about the executive orders. You're wrong about his executive authority. You're wrong about the immigration numbers. You were wrong about Iran. You've been wrong about everything, honestly.
not, I'm not wrong about immigration numbers that aren't being reported.
They are being
That's the thing,
reported.
they're not being. Yo,
Yes, they
go look it up
are.
right.
Yeah, look
I
it up
looked
right
it
now.
up. I've done videos about this. They're
Well,
not
do
being
more videos
reported.
about it.
So ICE numbers are being reported on the official government website. Up to
Yes,
date.
actually, they are. Yes.
Up to date.
Yes, they are being reported. Correct.
We're gonna go look at this right now because
As of
it's
early
not true. I
2026, the
literally
U.S.
just looked at
immigration
it.
population, you and I would agree, right? It reached record highs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But what has happened is the H-1B visas have been cut in half, okay? And there are deportations happening. And if we have net zero, we have more people leaving than coming in. That's the first good sign on immigration we've had in years. Now, Trump is trying his hardest to move past these federal injunctions. And he's gotten a lot of federal injunctions. But he's only been in his second term for what, just under 2 years? And he's already gotten a ton done, especially through the Supreme Court. And he has used his executive power to try to get birthright citizenship in front of the Supreme Court. I'd never get that from a Democrat. Now, maybe we won't win it, but at least he got it there. And it's like, what do you want?
So anyway, so let me finish. So these numbers are not being reported. Like I said, they were last reported. I think they were updated December 3rd, 2025. And that's not even necessarily true because when you go back, it says like May. So these numbers are not being reported. Okay. Secondly, you want to know what deportations are happening?
What's your source? What's your source for this?
I'm looking at Department of Homeland Security. Okay.
Okay. So
You
where
wanna
can
know
I find on the Department of Homeland Security that the numbers are not being reported? Go ahead and
go look for
give me
the
link.
numbers. Go hold on. Let me just finish making my point, and then you can.
No,
keep
I
on
want the
talking.
evidences
Okay, hold on.
first for your claims. As of April 2026, the Department of Homeland Security has reported over 600,000 deportations in the first year of President Trump's second term. What are you talking about?
Also, too, where did you get that from? You got that from
I
the
got it
Homeland
from the
Security?
Department of Homeland Security's website.
Because it's not that easy to get. Like, that's the
It's
thing.
right on the
Where's
front
the
page.
graph?
What do you mean? I'm looking at it right now. Maybe you mean something different by what you're saying. I don't, or maybe I'm just not understanding it.
This number is annoying to find. And so suddenly you found it so fast. Again, like it's giving me the runaround to just find how did you couldn't have found it this fast. Like you couldn't have, because it's not even giving me, like you couldn't have found it this fast. You did not get this number because now it's not even giving you okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. It's still at 527.
So it has been reported.
Hold
It
on.
has been reported.
No. First off, let me finish. That 459 has been the same number since May of last year. What are you saying? That's what I mean. It's the same number from last year. I made videos about this. This is not an updated number. So the same number from
hang
last
on.
year.
Well, let's check this claim.
Here,
hang
man.
on. Let's check this
I'm gonna
claim.
get from I know you
Okay,
pumped up
well,
the
let's
paper to
start.
right. You're not right.
Yeah, let's start with this claim.
And it's a disrespect. You think I want to be right about this? I don't want to be right about this.
Well, we're going to find out if you are right about this. What are you claiming is the same number from last year to this year?
That same 527, 459. And by the way, they don't show you deportation.
Hang on, I don't want any qualifiers or red herrings. I just want to know, what number are you claiming?
That 527, 459, that almost 600,000 that you're talking about has been up there since May.
Okay,
they don't update
so
the
hang on. So
numbers
you're
on the
saying
official
as
site.
of May of last year?
Yes.
Okay, and where can I find that?
I know this because I look at it's the same number.
Oh, wait, where can I find that?
You don't have to listen, dig this. You don't have to believe
Where
me.
can I
I'm not
find
here to
that?
convince anybody.
Where can I
Go look
find
up
that? Where can I
ICE
find that?
government
Because you found the
statistics.
number I gave you, but this whole May since last May thing, now you're saying that it's since last May. You found the number I gave you, but I can't find the number you're giving me. Where can I find that number?
Go look up ICE government statistics.
Okay, I'll look up ICE government statistics, and what am I looking for? ICE
It
government
comes up.
statistics.
Arrests. It comes up. It's right there.
Okay, ICE statistics.
Yeah.
Okay, so under ICE statistics, what am I looking for?
You're gonna see it. It comes up as arrests, and you have to keep going through this thing to find it. But like they're not being
You're not helping.
updated.
You're not actually helping me here. So help me out here. You just got done saying that you found the number of deportations that I gave you and said, yes, that's an
Arrests.
accurate number that you just gave me, but this is exactly the same as the number from last year. What I'm not getting from you is where I can find the information on where that was the number from last year. Can you tell me where I can find that, please?
I had to go and look for that, but I know it off the top of my head because I keep looking at these
Okay,
numbers.
where is
And if
it?
people aren't going to believe me, I could care less.
Yeah, but
I don't have
where
that
can I
link in
find
front of
it?
me. I just know it because
Oh,
I
you just
know.
know it. Okay,
Yes,
great.
because I do look at the charts. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do
Okay.
research these kind of things. You know, this girl is worried about a bunch of illegals in this country, and this number has not changed in almost
It
a
hasn't
year.
changed, but you have no evidence it hasn't changed. Got it.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to believe me. I'm not here to convince anyone. Look, at the end of the day, it's not. They're not
You're here to
doing mass
debate, but you don't want to
deportations. They're
convince
not.
anybody.
Well, this is a impromptu debate, and you if you
Yeah,
think I'm
I'm just as
lying,
impromptu as you. Do
if
you
you
think that
think
I came in here with some like extra time to research over you?
right, yeah, but
And
still,
by the way, this
it,
is your subject matter expert on this. This is all you research. How could it be that if this is all you research, you had the exact same amount of time to research as I did, which was none, that you don't have any of the research and I do? That's really weird.
okay, then I'm lying about it. You guys can believe whatever you want. Like I really, it's not here about. I'm not here about winning or convincing.
Then
The
why are you
numbers have not
debating? Why
been
are you debating if you
updated.
don't want to convince anybody of anything?
No, the audience can hear me, right? But once you start trying to say, no, 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 I'm right. I'm not removing like who I am because of this. The
What does
numbers
that
have
even
not been
mean?
updated.
That doesn't even mean anything.
Everybody knows that, right? So,
Everybody
but
knows that is an argument ad populum. It's
oh, okay,
fallacious.
good
Just tell
job.
me where
Yeah.
I can find the
Kind of.
number. Where can I find the number? Where can I find it?
I just told you it's ICE government
Yeah, I'm
statistics.
on the ICE government for statistics. Where do I go to find this number?
What are you talking about?
The
I
number
just
from
told
last
you
year that you
it
claim is
shows
the
up.
exact same as the number from this year. Where do I find it?
It's